Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money, with your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 557 of Screw the Commute podcast. I'm here with Pete Mohr, and he's going to help turn your frustrations in business into freedoms. That's what this guy's all about, so we'll bring him on in a minute. Now, I hope you didn't miss episode 556. That was Adam Strong. Now, this is not the Adam Strong who is also from Canada, who is a serial killer and eats up the first page of Google for this poor guy. But anyway, this Adam Strong is the Game Changer guy. So he's got a podcast, The Game Changers Experience, and he gave us a lot of insight on being disruptors. All right, how'd you like to make money referring our stuff? Well, you can make, just the speaking engagement can get you more than $5,000. And we have products from all levels, and we never get refunds because we take care of our customers and give good customer service and high quality products. So if you're interested in that, email me at tom@screwthecommute.com and pick up a copy of our automation ebook. I've been hammering you for a long time to get this thing because you will thank me if you just implement part of what's in it. It'll just knock your workload down and help you get take care of customers so much faster, and it'll really bring in more money for you. So pick that up at screwthecommute.com/automate free. While you're at it, pick up a copy of our podcast app at screwthecommute.com/app. That's APP. You can put us on your cell phone and tablet. Take us with you on the road. Now, we're still going strong in our pilot program to help persons with disabilities get trained in internet and digital marketing. It's just perfect for them, so they don't have to travel to school. They can get high quality distance learning and legitimately get hired and or start their own business, or both. So please give us a hand on this. You can go to imtcva.org/disabilities. Of course, that'll be in the show notes along with Pete's stuff. And check out the GoFundMe campaign. When I hear you crying the blues, like, oh, I can't do videos, Two of the people in our program are blind, and they're shooting videos that are nicer than mine. Right? So they're very inspirational. It was something you can really be proud of to help out with. All right, let's bring on the main event. Pete Mohr is here. He helps entrepreneurs transform their frustrations into freedoms by using a variety of frameworks that help them cut through the chaos and overwhelm of running a business. Now, he's refined his tips and tools and techniques within his own businesses, and he loves sharing them so others can live the life they deserve as business leaders. Pete, are you ready to screw?
I am ready to screw the commute.
All right, man. How's it going up there? Are you shoveling snow today up in Canada?
I was shoveling snow just before we came on today. We are getting a snowstorm. It has been above zero, and it's been, melting like crazy the last couple of days. But on the back end of that, we're getting a little bit of snow today.
Man, you can have my share. I had no part of that at all. Yeah, I grew up in the north, outside of Pittsburgh, and I never go back anymore. So
I'm escaping in another week. We're heading to Florida for a month to screw the snow.
There you go. That's right. Yeah. So tell us about this this program. I know there's a lot of frustration in the business world, especially with costs going out of sight and the giant inflation. I don't know if it's hit Canada or not, but sure. Probably does. So tell us how you work with people.
Really, I work with small business owners for the most part, and people that are kind of doing between 1 and 10 million is most of my type of clients. And work with, I'm a retailer, so we own some shoe stores. So I work with retailers. I work with service businesses because I've had service businesses in the past for multiple years, and work with people. And a lot of business owners get into business. Well, all business owners get into business because they want a better life. They look at the business when they first start, they're like, I think this is going to give me a better life. And what often happens, Tom, and I'm sure you've seen this over the years, where people, 10 years go by and they look back and they're like, okay, well, I maybe have a nicer car or nicer house or whatever the case is, and I have a bit more money, but I haven't had a life. I haven't had good relationships. I'm not that healthy. I haven't had a vacation forever. I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling worn out. What happened here? My kids are grown up and I didn't even see them. All of these sort of things are sort of regular things that entrepreneurs come across. And, you know, what I try to do when I'm working with entrepreneurs is to free them up of some of that so they can actually enjoy why they got into business, which typically isn't just to do business and just not typically just to grow a business. It's around having a better life. So understanding what that better life is sort of the first step, and what you want out of your health, what you want out of your relationships, what you want out of your wealth, what you want your mission and purpose to be personally, so that then we can create the business underneath that to prop it up for you as the entrepreneur, because you own your business and it shouldn't own you.
Well, there is a bright side to that part about being frustrated and having many relationships. I mean, that means you get to practice through many divorces, to get to where you're going. Hey, did you ever hear of that show Married with Children?
Oh yeah, Al Bundy.
Yeah. So, do you have any employees like
Yeah,
that in your shoe stores?
I actually don't, and we own shoe stores,
That's
so
what I, that's
that's
what I
a
was thinking about
fairly
it.
yeah, man. I absolutely. I mean, if I could only show and post some of the great clips from Al Bundy, but sort of absolutely politically incorrect these days.
Oh, totally. Yeah. My favorite line, though, is Peg came to Al one time and said she was pregnant. And Al goes, "Oh my God, it's just like Exxon. One spill and you pay for it the rest of your life."
Oh yeah,
Well,
I mean, that's a
so
great.
what's it
That's
like running a shoe store?
Well, to be honest, I really live sort of what I coach to, which is, you want to set your business up to be a turnkey business. And I won't say that it's always been a turnkey business, but that's where we're at now. And, I have great people in place. I have great process in place. I have great, things lined up that allow me to do what I truly want to do within my business. And, business, we were closed for 22 weeks over this pandemic
Oh
here
my
in
goodness.
Ontario,
Goodness.
right? It's been a big time of closure. But since then, we came out of the closure last May, and we had 8 of our best ever months we've ever had. And
Well, it's because everybody wore their shoes out and they were, you
well,
could
we were still doing some online business, which is great.
you
But
could
even
have
our online store, I mean, it grew substantially during the closures and
well,
stuff
you
like
could
that
have
too.
had them wear masks on their feet, couldn't you?
We're still wearing masks where we are now too. I mean,
Oh man.
that hasn't gone away in
Oh my
Ontario.
goodness. So
Yeah.
so uh,
So
so us pitiful Southerners here are picturing like the shoe store in Canada. You just sell like snowshoes and giant boots and stuff.
yeah, exactly. And people, we'll even bring them out to your sleigh to try them on, right?
That's good.
the
No,
reindeer will pull you in.
my favorite one of my favorite comedians was Kathleen Madigan, and she did a tour up in Canada, and she said, that Canada is kind of like the attic to the United States. He says, you forget it's up there, but there's a lot of cool things up there.
There are a lot of cool things for sure, and I'm a proud Canadian, and it's a great place to live. But there have been some definite things that are out of our control as retailers and as other business owners. I mean, our restaurants just reopened again last week. We were closed because of the Omicron stuff for about 4 weeks for restaurants and gyms and all that. We're closed back down completely. At least in retail, we went to a lower capacity. We didn't have to close completely. So a lot of these things come up and prop up, and they're all part of running a business and being an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur isn't for everyone. You have to be able to deal with this kind of stuff and not lose your mind. I mean, for anybody who takes a peek at my site or anything, you'll see I've already lost all my hair. So I've kind of pulled it out in the past and kind of worked through some of this kind of stuff
but
and how to do it.
these shoe stores are run without you being there.
For the most part,
Mhm.
I was saying I'm going to head to Florida for a month, and
Mhm.
when I said to my team about 3 weeks ago, I said, I think I'm going to take the month of March off and go to Florida. They said, great, have a good trip.
Yeah, beautiful. That's
And to me, that's what I want for my the people that I work with, right? It's like, let's try to set that up for you. I'm able to live that now because I've set my business up to that point. And will I be completely off grid that entire month? No, I won't. I'll still be available and stuff like that. But I don't have any set meetings. I'm not on the floor. I don't like all of that sort of stuff. In my shoe stores now, I work probably on average about 8 hours a week, 6 to 8 hours a week, I would say, with the shoe business. And then I'm doing what I truly love. And I love the shoe business too, but I've set it up to be more of a passive investment for me. And I'm involved where I truly am most beneficial to my team and to my clients. And that's the area what I call the love it zone for me in Shootopia. And my love it zone with simplifying entrepreneurship is having conversations like this, whether I'm on a podcast with you or hosting my own podcast, or having the conversations on Zoom with all my clients and talking about their frustrations and turning them into freedoms and working through these different processes that enables to free them up of their time, reduce their overwhelm, and all that other stuff that we were just chatting about.
Well, all right. So here's the dumbest joke on earth, but how do you keep things from walking out the door? I mean, uh, because I had one retail business, and that was the end for me. It was a nightclub where I was in gunfights and knife fights, and I'd find a big case of, we had a pizza shop too, a big case of cheese out by the dumpster that the kids took out there, and they were going to pick it up after work and steal it. So how do you keep control of a business like that?
Well, you set up the right processes and you have the right processes in place. Sort of the 5P structure we chat a little bit about is setting up the right promise. I'll give you the 5Ps.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, this is your turning frustration into freedom idea here.
The framework, right? Mm-hmm. And the framework is really having the right promise, aligning the right product, process, and people to that promise so that you can enjoy the right profit, And from that perspective, when we look at things like that we just talked about, you've got two issues right there. You've got a process issue and you have a people issue. Like, it's using this framework, you can then start taking these things and pulling out these little areas that cause red flags and say, okay, well, if I'm having an issue with theft, then I've got a process issue in that maybe do we have to install cameras? Do we have to have rules around opening and closing doors? Or when do we need to do bag checks on the way in and out of our stores? And all of these we have to align the process. And the other thing is, are we actually hiring the right people?
Right.
Come on, we've got to do some work in hiring the right people if we actually have people stealing from us. So, there's process to do there. And all of these things don't happen overnight. Like, it's not away we go. There's little baby steps, right? And you have to start working through these things and thinking about them and how they align to your promise. Because first of all, if so many of the entrepreneurs that I deal with right now, especially over the last couple of years, their business has absolutely changed, right?
Right.
And that means the promise that they made to their clients to deliver their services and goods to make their life better has changed too. But they haven't changed it. The world has changed around them, but they haven't changed their promise.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. So a lot of what it's like, okay, let's go back and see, what are you actually doing now? And when we assign a promise, there's all kinds of stuff around a promise, but the easy way for a podcast is, okay, what problem do you solve for your clients? What is their problem and how are you solving it uniquely? Is it faster? Is it cheaper? Is it a better experience? What is it? How is that problem being solved by you in a unique way so that person's going to live a better life? Because the only way they're going to spend their dollars is if you can show them the transformation from where they were to where they could be by using your service or goods or product.
Now, have you, I'm sure you have heard this on the news, all this smash and grab stuff that we've been seeing in the United States. Has any of that hit Canada?
Not really. I mean,
we're dealing,
we've had over the last few weeks, a pretty big trucker protest in downtown Ottawa and stuff like that. But outside of there being some blocked areas and a few arrests and stuff like that, there's been no vandalism. There's been very little, real, let's call it anarchy.
Are your stores in that area, or Where are
No,
your
no.
stores?
Yeah, my stores are about an hour outside of Toronto. So for a lot of people know where Toronto is. So we're about an hour outside of Toronto, and Ottawa's about 5 hours away.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's none of my stores are there. So they have had to close the downtown block, like some of the couple blocks around the thing, but there hasn't been smash and grab stuff.
I
There
would
hasn't
have
been.
thought that the business would have gone crazy because all those people would have nowhere to go to buy stuff. So,
Well,
I
some of them have
yeah.
for sure, and other businesses have been forced to close because the
Oh,
government around them has just closed them down and saying, "Hey, we're under a lockdown,
oh,
so
geez.
we're locking you down." And so it's affected a small amount of people there, but it's not like the Ambassador Bridge, which just happened in Windsor as
Mm-hmm.
well, Windsor, Detroit, which for those of you listening in the States, is the largest um, bridge, the largest border crossing for commerce between our two countries.
Yeah, there
And
was
Canada,
300 and some $1 million a day going back and
yeah,
forth. Yeah.
yeah, and you know what? Canada is still the state's biggest trading
Mm-hmm.
partner.
Right.
So from that perspective, if you're closing down the biggest bridge for the biggest trading partner, there's issues not only for Canadians but for Americans too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a big problem, and so that was more of a problem around all of the stuff that's creating commerce issues. And in Ottawa, it's more sort of a political thing and that sort of stuff. But there's we can go on and on about all the stuff there and why it's happening, but
Well, I'm not going to piss off any truckers. I'm going to put it that way
yeah, there you
because
go.
because I want to eat.
Yeah, for sure. And that's from that side of things, there are certain things there that you can't control as a business owner, right? So what are your workarounds? Well, you have to work around what you need to work around and have good relationships and have good people. That's that people portion. So we start off with the promise, and then the next part is aligning once. Yeah, and again, like I said, a lot of people have to actually go back and rework their promise now, a couple years into
Mm-hmm.
this, because business has changed. People have changed. The things have changed, and if you haven't done that, you have to go back, reassess that, go through that step, and then you're looking at your products. That's the next step. Looking at the products. Do the products and services align with your promise? And if the new products and services that you have don't align with your promise, then you need to actually either change your promise or change your products.
Now, are your products in the shoe business on consignment?
No, we pre-buy them.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
what if they don't sell? You're stuck, or you just
Then I
discount?
am stuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I discount them and flood them and lose money on the ones that we sell for less than we paid for them.
So, but I want to see how you got into the shoe business. But I want to take you back. Did you ever have a job? The dreaded job?
I on a full-time basis, I had a job for 6 months after university, and loved the guy I worked for. It's my dad's best friend. His name is Peter too. Great business, great boss, all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, I realized during that 6 months, because I had already owned businesses before that
Okay.
during university and
Oh,
stuff like
good,
that,
good.
little startup businesses and all that kind of stuff. And I realized it's just like, you know what, I just can't see myself doing this forever, and I'm going to start my own business. And that was in 1994. You were talking about
Mm-hmm.
1994
Yeah.
firing up your internet business, and so I started my first business in 1994, and I'm virtually unemployable now.
Yeah, me too. That's for sure. So how did you pick shoes? How did you get into that?
Yeah, long story short, I had a service. We did bathroom renovations and that sort of stuff. I had a cleaning company as well that we grew from 30 customers to 300 customers. I sold both of those businesses as I was taking my executive MBA. I kind of wanted to change after 12, 15 years of doing those businesses, and became a business broker, helping people buy and sell
Hmm.
businesses. And in fact, I just was on a call today with, I don't do that officially anymore, but I was on a call today with a person that I know, and she said, I need you to coach me through getting my business ready to sell, which is another big thing that I do is setting
Okay.
up the systems in order to create a turnkey business. Well, you want to have a turnkey business so you can back out of your business and not be so reliant upon. But from that perspective, do you actually want out if you're
Yeah,
if
if it
it's
was that
running on its
simple to
own?
run, yeah.
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 So this, and she's like, I don't know if I could actually do what I really like to do and only work maybe a day a week. Maybe I don't want to sell it. I just don't want to work 55 hours a week. And it's like, okay, well, like we can work on this, right? And then once you get it to a turnkey position, you make the choice. You have the freedom to either say, yeah, I still want to sell it, or because it's not sellable if it's completely reliant upon you,
Hmm.
right?
Right. Now,
And
take from if a business has no systems in place, what's the average length of time it takes them to get to the point where they are saleable?
yeah, so that depends on your business, and it depends on how many processes there are. So that's the third P, right? You've got your promise, your product, and your process, and all the processes. I mean, hiring and firing, and marketing and sales, and operations and bookkeeping, and there are a lot of processes. And if all the processes are in the owner's head, then there's no saleable business.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So they've got to get out, they've got to get onto paper. You need to assess them, you need to address them, and then you need to have somebody else be accountable for them.
That's the way it works, and it's so hard for people that it's their baby. So
Yeah,
when emotions get involved, that's why a lot of family businesses go under, because a lot of the decisions are made on emotion, not because of that's good for the business.
exactly. And I mean, we see it so many times. So just even having that discussion around the fact that somebody will come and say, hey, listen, I'm thinking of selling my business. And it's like, okay, well, how reliant upon you? Well, I do all the sales, I do all the buying, I do all the blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, well, you don't have a sellable business. Well, what do you mean? We do $1 million, or we do $3 million. Well, nobody cares, because they're going to have to come and work 60 hours a week, and that's not what they want to buy. They want to buy cash flow.
Yeah, see, they don't want to be employee of the month every month.
No,
Their picture up on the wall
that's
12
buying a
times.
job. That's buying a job, job.
Job. Yeah,
Right?
that's cussing on our podcast, by
Yeah,
the way.
right. And I'm not saying that you don't want to do anything in the business. That's not really healthy either. But you want to be working in the area what I call the love it zone. There's the love it zone and the leave it zone. So if you're finding you're working 80% of your time in the leave it zone, the area that you really doesn't give you, that drains and sucks all the energy out of you and doesn't give you strength and energy and excitement, then you're just working in the wrong area of your business.
Yeah, now on this book that you're working on, is that the name of it, The Frustration into Freedoms, or what's the
Yeah,
title and
at this point in time, that's the
working title?
I'm hoping to release it this fall, and I haven't pinned it, but I think it will be turning frustrations into freedoms, or maybe entrepreneurial freedom, something around that,
Got it.
basically. Yeah,
Got it.
but the subtitles is probably around the 5 Ps to create freedom in your business.
Got it. All
Yeah.
right, we got to take a brief sponsor break. When we come back, we'll ask Pete what is typical, if he has a morning routine, how his day goes, how he works family obligations through. I guess he's taken a month in Florida, so that's pretty cool. And then he's got a really cool assessment for you that he's going to give you and tell you where to find it. So folks, about 25 years ago, I kind of turned the internet marketing guru world on its head, in that guys at my level were charging 50 or 100,000 bucks up front for small business people to teach them what they knew. And I knew a lot of these people. You give them $50,000 up front, they'd be hiding out in Canada or somewhere, because they'd never help you. So I said, that's too risky for the small business people. So I turned everything on its head, and I just charged an entry fee to get into my program. And then my success was tied to your success. So for me to get my 50 grand, you had to net 200 grand. Well, guess what? People kind of like this idea, and 1,700 students later, it's still going strong, and it's the longest running, most unique, most a successful mentor program in the field of internet and digital marketing ever. You spend an immersion weekend at the Great Internet Marketing Retreat Center here in Virginia Beach. You have a separate trip to shoot videos in our TV studio. You get a scholarship to our school that I talked about, that we're helping the persons with disabilities, that you can either use yourself or gift to somebody. And it would be the best legacy gift you can, because, the way colleges are doing nowadays, just putting kids in debt and then they're competing for jobs at Starbucks when they get out. This is not the case. This is a highly in-demand skill, and they can start their own business or work for companies, or both. So also everything is one-on-one, because I tried group coaching at times, and if I'm talking to the beginners, the advanced people are bored, and if I'm talking to the advanced people, the beginners are lost. I said, it's not up to my standard. So everything is one-on-one with myself and my whole staff. So like I said, it's nobody will put their program up against mine. They're too scared. So check it out at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com, and I'm easy to get a hold of, and love to help you. Let's get back to the main event. We're here with Pete Mohr. He's a guy that has figured out how to do processes to make sure your business runs smoothly without you being the employee of the month every month and frustrated and, you know, and all the bad things that go along. He helps you get rid of those so that you can have your freedom. So Pete, do you have any kind of morning routine that you go through?
Absolutely. I mean, I have another download as well. We can pop in the show notes too.
Sure.
It's called the One Page Planner, and I've created a journal for entrepreneurs basically, and it's free. So it's at Simplifying Entrepreneurship /planner. But around,
Wait,
so I do my
simplifyingentrpreneurship.com
yeah
forward slash planner.
yes sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot the .com.
Yeah.
How could I do that? Right. But that's anybody can just download that, no problem. And I have a little video to guide on what I do every morning with it. And it talks about all these things that we started off with. What do you want out of your health? What do you want out of your wealth? What do you want out for your personal mission and goals? What do you want for your relationships? How do you want to spend your leisure time? Do you have any leisure time? What are you going to do? Plan this stuff, set your priorities, both for your life, which I consider a 25-year framework, and then break that down into your year, your quarter, your week, and your day, so that you can actually see an accomplishment of things happening.
Wait a minute. So what's the 25-year framework? So you're going to die at 25 years old, or what is it?
No, I just set
What
it up
is
as
that?
a 25-year framework and use that as sort of my long-term goals.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we want to know, like, do you get up early? Do you
Yes.
meditate? Do you work out?
Yeah.
What do you eat? All that stuff.
Yeah. So I'm a big sleep guy. So I track my sleep. I use an Aura ring. I have an 8 sleep mattress. I'm very conscious of that. I go to bed early. I get up early, typically around 5 in the morning.
You have kids?
I have 3 kids. They're all men now, though.
Oh, okay. So they're grown.
So they're all in the 20s.
Okay.
But basically, I get up early. I love my morning time. I love my alone time. I hop in the hot tub. I read in the morning every morning, do some reading, often meditate in the morning, set myself up with my one-page journal. I have a specific routine of having certain drinks and stuff like that. I drink a ton of water through the day. Start my morning off right in the right mindset, so that I can get a ton done before anybody's even hitting their snooze on their alarm.
Now, the family in the business at all, or what?
My wife does do. She's not active as far as on the floor and stuff like that, but she does some social content for us and things like that. All of my boys, I've had one of the boys work in the business, but none of them currently are, nor do they want to, which is perfectly good. They've got their own lives and they've got their own goals and wants and wishes, and I encourage them to go explore those.
That's awesome. And what about you said you had, or I told folks that you were going to give them some kind of assessment. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So the assessment is on my website too. It's simplifyingentrpreneurship.com. You just go to the site and hit the button, take the assessment. And the assessment really is just a wonderful little tool. It takes about 12 minutes to do the business assessment for entrepreneurs. And what it will do after you fill out 40 or so sort of multiple choice, very short answer questions, is that it spits you back between, depending on how you answered, between a 50 and 60 page PDF that really outlines the things that you're doing in your business really well and the things that you need to work on. So it gives you a plan of action so that you can take some action, set your priorities, and be working towards having a better life and a better business. And it's all sort of around execution and marketing and sales and overhead and the people side of things. We didn't dig into the people and the profit side of things. We got to the first 3 P's, but it takes on that sort of aspect too. And you sort of overlay the 5 P's on top of this, and it's like, now I have a plan of what I need to do to make this happen.
Wow, what a deal. I mean, they charge you $160 US for that around here. Yeah,
There you go.
what a great deal. So, wow, just you're perfect for this show. You only work 6 months out of your whole life. That's good. At a job for somebody else, and
I'm working in my love it zone the rest of the
yeah,
time,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah, and taking a month going to Florida. That's the lifestyle business. That's for sure. So thanks so much for coming on, man.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Tom, and really happy to have you on my show at the Simplifying Entrepreneurship podcast as well, too.
My pleasure. And so everybody check out simplifyingentrpreneurship.com and then /planner for the one-page planner. And then just on the homepage, what do they click on the homepage for the
Take
assessment?
the assessment.
Take the assessment. There, that's pretty right in your face.
Yep.
All right. All right. So thanks so much. And I can't wait till you get out of the snow, but don't drop any on me as you fly to Florida. All right. If there's any left over on your boots. All right. Catch you later, man. Thank you.
Make it a great day.
All right. Bye-bye.